Jim, I want to ask about the linebackers. What do you like so far about your linebacking core? What don't you like? Just break down what you're seeing from the linebackers.
Yeah, overall, in general, pleased. They know the system, they operate, they can make checks, see things happen before they happen. I think they've been matching up pretty well in pass coverage. They've been doing a more advanced job there. And, just get better at tackling. I mean, it's a science that you never practice live. So, those, even when you make a tackle, is it 3 or is it 5? Because that leads to the 3rd and 1s, 2s and 3s that make it difficult. So, I think it's just that tackling and how to continue to get more physical tackles, speed of the game tackles, while also still taking care of them at the same time during practice.
You guys seem to have some good depth. Are you guys still trying to figure out who your top 2 backers are?
No, I think Sonny, Cody have established themselves. But I like what Arvell and CJ are doing. And Gabe in limited reps has done well also.
Stay in the front row also. Jim, what did you think of the defensive tackles there without Tyreek on Saturday?
I thought Taiwan showed up. Definitely. Kind of flashed a couple times and in terms of being athletic and running to the ball. So I thought he made some good strides for himself in the team.
Go 3rd row, Andy Anders.
Sticking with the defensive tackles, you talked about Taiwan obviously, but with Hero, Jason, Caden, where's the rest of that group at, specifically at 3 tech and in Caden? How has he sort of elevated that nose guard depth behind Ty?
Caden's, he's interesting because he's very talented, plays hard. I think it's a matter of consistency with him, and predictability, I would say. So if you flash outside your gap and you make a play, great. And the next time you flash outside your gap and don't make a play, then we have to be disciplined in our approach. But I think he's certainly shown the ability to mess things up in there.
Go next door to Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
And just to follow up on Taiwan, if Tyreek wasn't able to go this week, would you see him as your starting free tech based on how he played?
We haven't really discussed that yet because we're hopeful on Tyreek, but I think there's a chance.
Do you think, just regardless, that Taiwan has earned himself more consistent playing time based on that performance?
But based on that performance, yes. It's only one performance, but he did a good job.
Go right behind with Tony Kerdeman.
I don't believe there's a defensive player in the game announced.
Correct.
Why? What went into that decision?
Well, just you got to speak truth, and while we had some champions, we had no one that we thought really showed a silver bullet of the game performance.
Come here to the front, Stephen Means.
In terms of the defensive tackle, did you think going into this game that maybe there was more depth at the defensive tackle than maybe the film showed you, or even live on Saturday showed you actually there was?
I think whatever I want, right? It doesn't matter until you actually show up in a game, in front of 100,000 and do it, So I think you just really don't know until a guy gets a significant amount of plays. I mean, you know, you can get in here and spot performance here or there, or when the game is in control, but, you know, you have to be able to do it when the game is on the line for a significant amount of reps. So you really don't know until it happens.
We'll go on the aisle here, Dylan Davis.
Going back to the linebackers, Arvell said last week that he hasn't really worked much at the will, just mainly light. How difficult would it be to get him ready to play that position if you needed to, or is that just not an option that's on the table at this point?
Yeah, it's not an option. I mean, with Arvell, he's on a structured course to greatness. So he's climbing that step by step. So you want to throw anything, throw a monkey wrench in there.
Behind Dylan, we'll go to Spencer Holman.
Jim, what did you like from the secondary handling offense on Saturday that you probably won't see a lot of moving forward?
Well, we only gave up one explosive pass. So, you know, I think gave up 2 explosive runs. So, 5 explosives over 3 games in terms of the way we look at it is a big deal, and I think that has a lot to do with our secondary. You know, making sure that we keep things in front, that we contest when there's an opportunity to contest.
Whether it's air raid principles, you guys don't face the option ever, but these one-off offenses that you won't see a lot of defense play, how much different is it to see that and to pivot into college play, knowing that you really won't see that again?
It's not, because you have to have the concepts and fundamentals and disciplines of your defense. You know, they hold up. You know, if you're creating new things every week based on the offense, I mean, you can change up your calls obviously based on the offense, but the fundamentals, the technique, those consistencies, they apply across the board.
Come down here to the front, Tim May.
Yeah, just 2 quickies. Arvell, I want to follow up on that. I mean, do you remember in preseason camp, was it in preseason camp where you saw him, where the light bulb was really coming on? I mean, when did it start showing up? Was it in the spring, or was it, and sometimes the light bulb, it flashes and sometimes it comes on. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, if you've been
Preseason.
Yeah.
And I would say that's correct. It's a flashing light, you know,
Yeah.
flashing light, blinking light, you know. So we're just trying to get that thing to stay on consistently.
Yeah. And that sounds like a Motel 6. Called an all-out blitz, basically. For want of another term, on one of their touchdown drives. Didn't quite get there. They converted, or it looked like an all-out. I mean, CJ hits up the middle, things like that. I mean, I want to get in your head a second. When that doesn't quite work, do you put it away for later? Do you go, well, somebody's already seen that now, we can't do that, the way they picked it up? How do you operate in that regard?
Yeah, you definitely want to stay multiple in those aspects. So, you know, you have, again, it's not impossible, but I think when you're creating new things every week, you know, that's not as good as I kind of already have in the toolbox. So you're right, you have a bunch in the toolbox, and maybe you pick one, and then you say, okay, I'll run a different version of that next time. Yeah.
Go right next door, Joey Coughlin.
It looked like Sonny was wearing the green dot on Saturday. Did he also do that against Western? And is he going to keep wearing that with even Cody back, or how does that go?
I can't remember if he did that against Western. I really don't know.
Cody had it.
I think Cody had it. That's what I thought. So once Sonny, Cody, Sonny, yeah. I think that can kind of flip back and forth. I think the more experience you get both those guys doing it, the better, you know, and because one goes down, the other guy does it, but so I think that can remain fluid.
Is it kind of the goal?
Yeah, the goal was to have, we kind of rotate it around, you know, and so they both can do it.
Next to Joey, Bill.
We all know how talented Caleb is. He hasn't had a chance to kind of make that signature play. It just hasn't come to him yet. How impressive has he been, even if he hasn't had that signature play? What's he added to this defense?
Yeah, he's, like I've always said about him, you know, professionalism and seriousness to his work, you know, and coachability, you know, just makes mistakes. He's human, you know, but he fixes things. So the slight nuances that we do week to week, he picks them up like that, and he's real serious about it.
The fact, I think I asked you last week, basically your defense is playing close to perfect zero. I want to hear it. The fact that you had some issues on Saturday, is actually, from your perspective, a healthy thing where you can say, look, there's a reason that I can't let you get complacent because we did screw this up, we did screw that up. Is that a good thing heading into special Big Ten?
No, it's never a good thing.
Okay.
It's not a good thing, you know, but you have to make the best of it, you know. So it's learning experience, you know. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, this happened. Here's how we didn't play it right. Here's how we have to play it right. So we learn from it. You know, you learn. I think Bear Bryant said you learn a lot from a loss. We're not allowed to lose around here, so but you learn even more from a win where you don't play your absolute best. So it's probably where you're heading, but I don't ever think it's a good thing. You just take what you have and make the best of it.
Were you frustrated at that, right?
Was I what?
Frustrated, is that right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you know, our expectation has to be perfection and domination all the time. You know, I thought we had a slow start. I thought I could have done a better job. And then you get in the start, but you get into those situations where it's like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and you kind of scramble around and and you don't get off the field, you know, on the 3rd play or the 6th play, and then I think that's when you get in trouble. You know, you get off the field that first 3rd and 3 or even the 2nd time. I mean, you know, maybe you may not see those 2 touchdowns. You know, I mean, it's just kind of the way the game rolls, which brings up the importance of getting off the field, 3rd down.
The second half, y'all made, I mean, you know what I mean, that was a totally different.
Yeah, we do what we're supposed to do.
All right, we got the last question, Kevin T. Robinson.
Jim, kind of going back to something you said about Caden, you mentioned sometimes he'll flash out of his gap and make a big play, and then next time he may flash out of the gap and stuff like that. This isn't particularly about Caden, but when you see guys make a play outside of maybe the gap of the role they're supposed to be in, how do you balance that with them in the sense of, we like the play you made, but that's not what exactly you're supposed to be doing in the scheme of what we're doing?
Well, if you do what you're supposed to do, you know, and then when you flash to do something else, you make the play 100% of the time, I'm cool with that.
Thank you.